We have arrived in Reading, drawn to this famous city, famous for biscuits, the biggest biscuit factory in the world in the 19th century. It's famous for being the biggest town without city status, and actresses like Kate Winslet, Ricky Gervais, the writer of the Paddington Bear books, come from here. Why are we here though, Ewan?
To do the Royal, is it the Royal
Royal Chilterns Way, yeah. So we're not here for any of that, we're here for another new birth, the Royal Chilterns Way. Here is the official start. We've come down by train and we've got over 170 miles to do, over 11,000 feet of climbing to do. I think we better get going.
Yeah.
I've wasted enough time getting set up.
faffing around with a camera.
Let's get going. The route is one of 7 Cycling UK's adventure series. Ewan and I have already done the Cantii Way in Kent and Rebellion Way in Norfolk, so great to be able to tick off another route. The routes are designed for long weekend escapes, so perfect for this bank holiday weekend. There's a GPX to download, a guidebook for each route, making sure you don't miss any of the sites, and importantly, highlighting local small businesses and cafes along the route to enjoy and take a pause from the riding. Well, my Wahoo has just gone climb. It's the first of what will be many hills on this route. We are in the Chiltern Hills after all. It's time to start testing out those legs. The hills also produce the promised views. Just enjoying a view back over towards Reading. We came from that building just over there.
We saw deer running across the road.
Sky come bearing up before us. We hang on the hem of your gown. Blue sky come, promise not to leave us. Tarry not to our town. There's a darkness in the valley.
We've arrived in Henley-on-Thames.
Not Henley-on-Arden.
Not Henley-on-Arden, as Ewan keeps reminding me. We're not lost. Beautiful town, and of course famous for the Henley Regatta. Actually, Henley-on-Arden used to host, which is our local Henley, a alternative regatta with people who used to, you had to walk your boats along. Well, we've headed out of Henley, and that's a tough old climb, haven't we, Ewan?
Yeah.
Proper bit of single track, and grinding our way in the bottom gear up a long old climb. Definitely decided it's time for a drink and maybe a little bit of snack as well. But riding through at least some woodland, so it's shaded and not too hot. Beautiful.
Blue sky come, dancing in between us. Take us up, lay us down. Blue sky come, promise not to leave us. Tarry not to our town.
We've stopped off at the cheese shed for our lunch, recommended on the Cycling UK sort of notes in their guidebook, which I highly recommend getting to highlight those bits and pieces you want to see. Definitely worth checking out. The cheese toasty, what do we reckon, Ewan?
Good.
Good. It was just, the cheese just oozed and yeah, full of flavour. So lovely spot to enjoy your lunch. I've just shown Ewan the route ahead. We've got a few steep climbs to do this afternoon, haven't we, Ewan?
Yeah.
How are those legs feeling? We'll see how we get on. One of them One of them's definitely marked as red on the elevation plot, so it's we might be resorting to pushing our bikes up there. Right. Fortunately though, I think the next bit has some downhill.
That's nice.
There's a violence under our feet, running stitches through our homes. Bring a lantern, bring it quickly. Joy's not to be a crone. Blue sky, come, hearken to our chorus. Tie us to golden.
Well, the hills are living up to the promise, but so are the views on this ride. Absolutely fabulous at the moment out across there, just rolling away from us. Cycle touring perfection. Have reached the first hill, just defeated us both. We're off our bikes and pushing up this trail. It is graded as red on Wahoo and Kamut, so it's a pretty tough one. God, even pushing is pretty hard work. How's that, Ewan?
Hard work.
It was pretty hard work, that. These Chiltern Hills are definitely hilly. So do come prepared if you're doing this route and you've not got very low gears and probably a mountain bike and probably packing a bit lighter than us, to walk up one or two of them. But it's flattened out now and we're ready to ride.
You hope.
I hope. For a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Change is constant, learning to flow. All the unknown, lemons thrown. May look different from what you've dreamed.
No way you could ride up that.
Colors and contrast making it art. What if happy can be built? Tuning into all that's good. Lucky I learned what lemons can do.
Well, that's just done 2 of the 3 big climbs for today. Another red section that definitely defeated us on that one. Bit of a reprieve with a bit of downhill coming up, and then we've got another one to do, which has got another red section on it. God, this is definitely a day when the second half of the ride is a lot tougher than the first half. Well, after that incredibly steep climb, which definitely tested our arms and legs pushing our bikes up, we then had a quite fast descent on, well, I say fast, it would have been fast if it wasn't also incredibly bumpy. So we tested our brakes out a bit coming down there, and so we're enjoying some tarmac at the moment. Bit of reprieve for our legs and our bottoms as we glide along on a bit of tarmac for a while. We're on an old railway line, so actually a bit of flat off-road cycling for a change. Enjoying that sort of view that you get when you're doing one of these greenway routes. A long straight avenue ahead of you with trees either side. We are on to our third and hopefully final section of the day that's labelled as red in terms of hardness of climb. We're back off and pushing our bikes. What do you reckon to that climb, Ewan?
Hard work.
Cycling UK, that climb was brutal. We struggled to even push our bikes up, but we will forgive you, because this view when we reached the top was incredible. We could see for miles, and the sun's streaming out of the clouds. What are you telling me, Ewan?
This place here is Princess Risborough.
Yeah, well, we cycled sort of on the edges of that. So, yeah, we cycled all down here. I reckon that over there was we cycled past that. There's all this beautiful flat land over there, though, that we managed to avoid and basically find all the hills. But wow, what a view. So we're just having a bit of an explore of this hill before we get back on our bikes. There is just here a chalk cross/figure. First mentioned in the 1700s, but nobody has any real idea of why it's here or what it's for. And there's also a Neolithic barrow here somewhere. So a burial site, but near to this cross, but apparently there's no connection. We can't really see it that well from here. You better view from somewhere over there, I would guess. But just the scenery and the view is spectacular. Plus, we're trying to put off getting back on our bikes probably for as long as possible. Our legs are definitely feeling a little on the weary side. Me thinking that we'd done the climbing and it was just going to be downhill to the finish after that big hill was not quite right. Another couple more sneaky little bits of climbing up through the woodland, but it is beautifully quiet up here. There's no sound at all other than the occasional sound of a bird and the crackle of twigs from us and from deer. I've just seen a couple of deer running by. Another pub. Well, we have arrived in Great Missenden. Just at the other end of this road here is our campsite. And hopefully the pub's still serving food, but we have seen several places in Great Missenden that also serve food. Also to note at Great Missenden, it's the home of Roald Dahl, and there's the Roald Dahl Museum here. So you could go and explore that as well while you're here. We've made it to Great Missenden and to the Black Horse on the outskirts. And Ewan is busy trying to work out how the poles fit together at the moment. Time to pitch tent and then head into the pub because they're still serving food. We're looking forward to a nice cold pint, aren't we, Ewan? In Ewan's case, a pint of orange juice. In my case, a pint of cider, I think. And what are you fancying for tea, Ewan? Pizza? This is Friday. Or whatever. Might be something else that takes your fancy. Yeah. We shall see. First though, we'll get the tent pitched. We are enjoying some good food here at the Black Horse, aren't we, Ewan? What do you reckon of scampi? Is it the first time you've ever had scampi then?
I think so.
Definitely refuelling, and we've got some chocolate brownies to come for dessert. But how are your legs feeling now, Ewan? Glad to be able to... Are you glad it's not Aldi pasta tonight? This is better than my Aldi pasta, is that what you're trying to say? I'm inclined to agree with him, especially when you can have a nice ice cold pint with it as well. Are you ready for an early start in the morning for Parkrun? And more climbing tomorrow. But you're hoping, you're looking forward to the fact you've not got to lug your panniers up all the hills. That's definitely going to be the bonus tomorrow. The campsite here, because we're doing the northern loop, we basically come back here again tomorrow. So we don't have to strike camp and load everything up in the morning. We can leave everything here, do the loop, though it does mean we've got to do the whole 65 miles and the 5k parkrun tomorrow, but we can come back here. We haven't got to look at our panniers up the hills. We haven't got to strike tent in the morning. We haven't got to pitch camp when we get here tomorrow. So that's all big bonuses, isn't it, Ewan? Right, we're going to carry on enjoying our food, then go to the tent, and get a few hours sleep. Ready to tackle more Chiltern Hills in the morning. Definitely recommend this place though, if you're looking for a campsite to do the Royal Chilterns Way. Good morning. Up early, though our weary legs would probably prefer an extra couple of hours in bed. We've got a load of riding to do today. Fortunately, we lied at bikes because we can leave the tent here, but we've got a parkrun to get to first of all. So, time to get loaded up and get riding. We are off and riding through a sleepy Missenden. How does your bike feel this morning, Ewan?
Light.
Does it feel good? And
Yeah.
we're turning left here. Off to do a parkrun in my case. Ewan's not so sure though. Maybe the lure will get to him when we get there and he'll be up for it, or at least a walk round. We shall see. But at the moment we're enjoying the early morning sunshine and some tarmac roads, so I'm sure that won't last long on this route. We hadn't even reached the outskirts of Missenden, barely, before we were heading up a bit of red slope again. It is actually an official NCN route up this. I think most of the NCNers will be off their bikes and pushing like we are. I'm gliding along now, having done that brutal little climb to start the day on some lovely fresh tarmac. Oh, cyclist dream. Well, after enjoying a couple of miles of smooth tarmac, we're back onto the rough stuff, onto a bridleway. The fun point at the moment is the sun's also in our eyes, so trying to avoid the worst of the bumps, while also not being able to see that easily, makes for interesting riding. But we have seen the joy of the hare just running in front of us. We've made it to Amersham and just heading down to Old Amersham, which is where the parkrun is. Just seen a sign, caution runners, so I'm hoping that that's the parkrun route and I'm near the finish start. Well, I made it in time from our campsite to parkrun. I may be in the middle of a cycle tour on probably the toughest, hilliest terrain cycle tour I've done. It beats Scotland, but there's still time for a parkrun. So we're here at Churchmead Parkrun. I think it's going to be a hilly one as well. 2-lapper, and it warns about a hill up through the woodland. So we'll see what that's like on my tired legs from yesterday.
3, 2, 1, go!
That's the caution runner sign I saw as we were cycling here. And as we bombed down the hill then towards the start of the parkrun, I thought, ooh, this is going to be fun. Hey! Cheer point as we start our second lap. High-fiving. And now, I'm going to run back up those hills again. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Have you had a tough morning, Ewan?
Yeah.
Sitting here, watching everybody else working hard. But you still want some breakfast? Let's go find some. We've enjoyed our breakfast. It's now time to get back on the bikes. Today we've got 65 miles in total to ride. We've done around 8 of the miles already, haven't we, Ewan?
Yeah.
I think we've got a few hills more to do.
Yeah.
And we've just been having a lovely chat over breakfast with somebody who knows the area and been telling us about the lovely things we're going to see.
Yeah.
So let's see how we get on. And I suppose get back on those bikes. We managed to take a wrong turn, so we've got only more miles to it. We managed to get ourselves out of Old Amersham, heading up the hill, and then somehow took the wrong turn, or didn't take a turn on the hill that we should have done. So we now have to do a bit of step retracing. Fortunately, we're not going to go all the way back down the hill and back up again. We can cut across, I hope. We are back en route and back on some quieter roads again now after a few busier B roads. We'll see what the day has in store for us. One of the things this route makes you appreciate is tarmac. When you're doing so much of it on gravel, which you definitely feel the battering a bit on your legs and so on, especially as we're on just under 40mm tyres on gravel bikes, it definitely makes you appreciate gliding along on some smooth tarmac like we are now. But loving the mixture of trails, variety of scenery, the woodlands, the open fields, all of which we're getting to enjoy on this route by taking all of these different types of surface as we ride. One of the things I am enjoying here on the Chilterns is a plentiful supply of blackberries. I think the chalky soil seems to suit them. So we're enjoying a bit of easy riding at the moment along the canal towpath. Ah, that makes a nice change. Well, we refuelled by the Grand Union Canal in Berkhamsted before we headed back uphill again. Ewan had a highly nutritious dinner of ice cream, both enjoyed a cold drink, and I had a packet of crisps. They weren't serving any food, but hey ho, get some more miles in the legs. As we climbed out to Berkhamsted, we found World War I trenches. Now you might be thinking, but the front line never came to here. You're right, these were training trenches built by a training camp that was based here. And they built 13 miles of trenches in this area to train themselves. I'm guessing they're quite a bit filled in because these would be very shallow trenches, I would think. We're just passing Ashridge House, which is quite a place. Castellated. It looks like a bit of a sort of Hogwarts or something, doesn't it, Ewan?
Yeah.
All sorts of turrets and bits of building going on all over the place, and a church spire or something in the middle of it. Got one of our big climbs of the day to ride up now. It's going to be a toughie getting up there. I think I might be walking a bit of that. As we continue our undulations in the Chilterns, we've just come across National Trust's Whipsnade Tree Cathedral, and they've planted trees and bushes in the layout of a medieval cathedral for you to come and contemplate and relax in. We have made it to Dunstable Downs, haven't we, Ewan?
Yeah.
Which is the...
Most northern point on our route.
And is it also the highest point?
I don't know about that.
But it's certainly a high point, because look at that view out in front of us. And yes, we are off the bikes. You're not supposed to ride on this bit. And there's proper bike parking for us to use.
That's the
And
gliding.
we're hoping a National Trust cafe as well, aren't we, Ewan? But, oh yeah, you can see the glider.
London gliding place.
Yeah. There's people flying kites all around us. There's a lighthousey type electric beacon type thing, don't we, Ewan? And then there's the old-fashioned fire beacon just out here ahead of us. But the view out from it is, wow, these Chiltern Hills definitely deliver. And Dunstable Downs deliver on the views, don't they, Ewan?
Yeah. We are 240 metres.
And do our legs deserve these
sea
views?
level.
How many?
240 metres.
Do our legs deserve these views then, Ewan?
Don't know.
We worked hard for them, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've refuelled in the National Trust Cafe, and now it's time to descend, isn't it, Ewan?
Yeah.
Bit of reprieve from climbing up hills for a little while.
Not for long though.
But not for long before another big
We're
climb.
gonna go down like this, along a bit, and go back up again.
Yeah. It'd be nice if we could just sort of grab one of those gliders and just glide from here to the next one. Oh well, no point in putting off the inevitable.
No.
Let's get going. We've swooped down off Dunstable Downs, and the good thing is most of the downhill was done on the road, so we were able to make the most of it. Ah, that was nice. We made it to the Bridgewater Monument, built in honour of Francis, 3rd Duke of Bridgewater, who's responsible for seeing aqueducts on the continent and bringing the concept here for canals and sort of revolutionised the movement of goods on the canal network. Lady Ashwater, after he died, this monument was built in his honour, but Lady Ashwater hated it so much that she insisted it was positioned a long way away from the house. We just checked on Google Maps. It's 1.6 miles in that direction from the house. What it does, though, give you is an amazing view from up here back towards the house. You can just about see it in the distance. Great focal point. And it is a well-tall monument as well. And 20 miles to do before we get back to the campsite for tonight, Ewan. Your legs got it in them? Mm-hmm. You're doing good. You're powering away from me at the moment, aren't you? Smashing it out. But I tell you what, this Northern Loop is a big old ride to do in a day. Right, enough of a breather. Back on those bikes. Let's get riding. Drop down and onto the Grand Union Canal. We're just passing by Haygate's flour mill. You enjoying the aroma, Ewan?
Yeah, it smells quite good.
You can really smell the flour. It smells like you're at the start of a baking process, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Making me hungry. Bit of industrial heritage by the canal. You can imagine in the old days, the canal boats loading up here. Now there's a bunch of lorries out the front. So we are cycling along at the moment on a canal towpath, but there is no canal at the side of us. At the moment, it's just a dry, empty ditch, basically. No water. Looks like they're trying to do something to bring it back to life, but fairly slowly, because the works themselves look a bit dishevelled. So whether they ran out of money, I don't know. But yeah, fascinating to think that what we're cycling along would once have been a canal. We're back off the canal towpath and we're back climbing again. Got a long climb to do now. He turns legs churning over. We've made it up to Wendover Woods. Unsurprisingly, at 20 past 8 at night, there's nobody here and it's all shut up. That was a stiff old climb up to here. Time to drop back down again now. Well, we are now in Wendover, and as you can tell, it is now dark, and we're also having to make a little bit of a diversion because of HS2. But the pub that we're camping at have promised to put some food by for us, and we're basically just going to crack on now to get the last just under 10 miles, I think, now to get us back. So we'll see you when we finish. Well, we are back in the pub where we enjoyed our meal last night, and very nicely they put to one side a meal for us, didn't they, Ewan? Are you very thankful for that? Because we were here a while back after they had closed the kitchen, but we needed some food. We have cycled over 68 miles. We have climbed how many feet? We've climbed a lot of hills. 5,180 feet of climbing, and I've managed to parkrun too. So I think we deserve this meal, don't we? Well done, Ewan. You have done brilliantly today. We'll eat this and then we'll collapse in the tent, shall we? See you in the morning. Well, we have had an exciting start to our day here on the campsite. At about 6:30, car rocked up, or van, 4x4, with balloons in the trailer, Virgin balloon laid out, crowd arrived to fly in it, burners went off, balloon rose into the air, and then not just one but another balloon as well. There was another balloon, a teak crew arrived, a slightly smaller balloon also set up and took off from the field here. Apparently this is a designated hot air balloon takeoff field, so it's not unusual to have a balloon here, and it certainly makes a different start to your day's camping. They've got a slightly easier way to view the Chiltern Hills than we will have today. We've got some more lumps and bumps to ride up and down, but not quite as far today. Less than 50 miles to do. So a bit of a easier day on the legs. Well, we're loaded up and ready to go. Panniers fully on today, no tent left behind, so we've got to lug all the way up the hills. We've enjoyed our morning balloon show, but now got to get these weary legs back up some more of those Chiltern Hills. You ready for this, Ewan? We'll see how we go. Right, let's get going. And we're climbing. We didn't even get a mile for Alex to warm up. We're straight onto the elevation. At least at the moment it's tarmac, so it's a bit easier to ride. They're not that easy. But you can see if Roald Dahl was writing his stories in this area, knowing some of his books, you can see why some of these old woodlands would have inspired some of the themes. Well, we've done a parkrun distance so far, but the lure of a craft fair with food stalls was too strong, and we're stopping hoping for some energy boost for our weary souls, aren't we, Ewan? Well, we have managed to find some very tasty cakes. From who are they from, Ewan?
Beth's Cakes and Bakes.
So thanks, Beth, for your cakes. How's that, Ewan? Good Biscoff millionaire. You think that will refuel the batteries for the ride up the hills? We've got plenty of those still to do. So we refueled, cakes drunk, part of that. Lovely little outside market as part of the farm shop there.
We drunk cakes.
Drunk cakes, yeah, and ate coffee. Maybe the other way around. And maybe the reason I'm getting my words mixed up is because I also had a little taste of a very nice cider and wine. So it's a bit early in the day, but you know, one's got to do what one's got to do. We're back in a bit of woodland. Just been descending a steep bit of single track with some quite significant drops in. Slightly challenging on a fully laden bike, but we've made it. Back down to the road now. And things you don't expect to see as you come out of a gravel track is Shrek walking along the road. Yep, we have just seen Shrek. He is alive and well and living amongst the Chiltern Hills. Just stopped for a quick peek at Ewan Manor, which is the home of Disraeli, one of Queen Victoria's most famous prime ministers. Haven't got time to explore, but apparently it's got World War II room, I think it is, and various other things to explore. He himself is buried in the church here in the grounds, now all owned and managed by the National Trust. The route took us down through the forest. There's some technical riding, straight down to the valley, straight back up again, and we're climbing up some tough gradients. And the first section was really flinty, but at least it's a bit smoother under the wheels now to carry on up. Oh, certainly getting the heart pumping. This ride is not for the faint-hearted. As we're descending, we've just spotted the Dashwood family mausoleum up there on the hill. Very impressive, have been up there once before. Quite incredible place for burying their dead. Definitely striking, making sure that you wouldn't get forgotten, I guess. And the Chiltern Railway, just going below it. Well, we made it to Marlow on the official Cycling UK route, but after having our legs rather cut to pieces and stung on some of the single track, which was slightly overgrown, wasn't it, Ewan? The summer growth has definitely grown, perhaps since they surveyed the route. And the ups and downs definitely taking a toll on our legs after yesterday's exertions. What have we decided, Ewan?
To take the roads.
Yep, we're going for the road route direct to our campsite in Wallingford. I think it is tonight. So yeah, enough of ups and downs on gravel trails. One of the beauties of the Cycling UK routes, they don't have to be stuck to exactly. You can make them your own. And we're about to make it our own, aren't we, Ewan? Because we can't face any more gravel today. Right. Let's roll along the tarmac for a bit, shall we? Out to Nettlebed. Come off the roads and I'm enjoying a bit of serene time by the Thames. Just been watching the boats come through the lock and now we're just cruising along, enjoying the views as we do so. We made it to Wallingford with a slightly easier choice of route, wasn't it, Ewan? But we had definitely, our legs had their fill of hills and narrow gravelly tracks, and we just wanted to cruise along some tarmac for a bit. Though actually, as it turned out, it's quite a nice ride along the Thames. Quite enjoyed cruising by the Thames for a bit, and a lovely gravel track up quite a long part of the dual carriageway, wasn't it? So we weren't actually having to ride on the dual carriageway. So all in all, better than we expected.
Yeah.
And we made it in time to the campsite. For food, we had a bit of a hunt, but we managed to find an Indian takeaway. Well, an Indian restaurant that was no longer serving for us to eat in there, but they would do some food to take away. So we now have a curry to enjoy between us. Chicken korma, Ewan's favourite. And a can of cider for me. Good night. We will see you tomorrow. We are all packed and loaded for the last time, hopefully, assuming little details like we can actually find a train that will run to get us back to Coventry from Reading in some way, shape or form. We think it might be a trip into London, hopefully by train, not by bike, and then a trip up from London to home. Cross country, not playing ball. But been a beautiful campsite to start. Really lovely.
Showers.
It had showers, which was a nice bonus after our last couple of nights. Though the other campsite was fabulous in every other way, it did miss showers. Blue skies, been enjoying watching the kites wheeling overhead as we've been having breakfast. Another one just coming towards us now.
Oh, wow.
And we are, ready to go. An easy day of riding, Ewan, just 18 miles.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see how many.
And I think it's pretty much flat.
Pretty much flat.
Other than the start, which goes like this.
Yeah, a bit of a climb up from the Thames initially. But we'll see how it goes. Let's get on those bikes and get riding.
Yeah.
Toiling our way uphill, up some narrow single track in the heat of the sun, scorched fields, either side of us. Definitely dried, baked earth everywhere. Bit more rest last night and a slightly easier second half of yesterday. The legs recovered a bit. So enjoying the single track a bit more again today. Good, you managed to find up that hill. Just enjoyed a nice coffee and cake at Viv's Cafe, halfway through today's riding, so not much further to go really. And Ewan assures me it's mostly flat, though the guidebook seems to suggest there's a couple of short, sharp climbs to enjoy along the way. But we shall see. First of all, we've got a bit of a climb back out to the village we've been in. We're cycling along the Thames path, which is quite a hairy bit of single track actually. There's quite a steep drop off down to the bank of the Thames. So you have to keep your wits about you as you're cycling along, especially as there's a few true routes over the path as well, which could send you flying. We'll try and avoid that. We have just made it up Hartley Steps. In the guidebook it says you've got bragging rights if you can ride up it. To be honest, we think you've got bragging rights even if you manage to push a loaded bike up those. That was steep. If you can ride up that, chapeau, you deserve every plaudit. Right, back on the bikes and a bit of tarmac to get us going again now. We're just passing through the Hardwick estate, which is completely organic and really aiming at biodiversity. You said you might even spot a glowworm if you're coming through here in the late evening, but I don't think we'll see any of those right now at the height of the summer sunshine. But yeah, they're really focused on supporting artisan crafts and growing organic produce. And a beautiful estate too. Just typical, we had made it all the way back to Reading. Reading's festival signs appearing, lots of marshals telling people where to go, telling us to avoid the busiest bits. And then descending into Reading, Ewan thought, my wheel feels a bit squishy. And he's got a flat rear tyre. So just, I think about a mile to go to our finish. It's time to do some puncture repairing. Puncture repaired. Are you thankful to your dad for repairing your puncture for you?
Yeah.
Thanks for going and getting the orange juice to refresh me as well while I was doing it. Right, let's try and finish this ride again now.
Yeah.
Let's go. And that's it. One Royal Chilterns Way complete, mostly. There has been one or two minor variations on the route, in particular yesterday, second half. But you happy with yourself?
Yeah.
Enjoy it overall?
Yeah. Hard work.
It's hard work. Definitely gives your legs a good workout, your bottom a good workout on all those bumpy trails.
Yeah.
And we've got one or two cuts and bruises to take home as mementos, haven't we?
Yeah.
And today has been a hot day of riding. And just, of course, we had to get a puncture. That's the reason we had a puncture, because it's not a proper cycle tour unless you've had at least one puncture, is it?
Yeah.
Right, time to go cut a train. Hope you've enjoyed our adventure on the Royal Chilterns Way. If you like cycling and you fancy a bit of adventure cycling, then do check out the Cycling UK Adventure Series. A good one to get started is probably the Rebellion Way. Definitely a lot easier than this, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot flatter. Cantii Way next, and build up to this one probably as you want after that. But yeah, it's definitely one that's going to test you out a bit more than those two, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, let's get off to the station then.